everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. Today I have something quite fun, at least I think it's fun. Hopefully you do too. If you clicked on this video, you already know. I'm going to be reading you a little bit of this beautiful picture book version I found of Howl's Moving Castle. Now I don't know about you, but I love this movie. I think it's super fun, super cute. It's great for any age, so no matter who you are, I would recommend it. Check it out. There's wizards, there's fighting and a war, there's a young girl who turns into an old lady, there's a magical living scarecrow dude. Not to mention just a little bit of romance. It's awesome, so check it out. That's the first thing I would tell you about this amazing story. So before I read it to you, maybe you want to check out the source material. Also, disclaimer, this book is not the original novel version of Howl's Moving Castle by, I believe her name is Dianna Wynne Jones, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, this version came after the movie. It's by Hayao Miyazaki, the guy who created the movie. And I think this is an amazing, beautiful book, and I wanted to share it with you, do a little bit of reading for you. So sit back, relax. The main purpose of this video isn't necessarily ASMR. It was more just for me to have some fun reading the book. But hey, if you want to relax to this, fall asleep to this, get some tingles out of it, I don't know. More power to you, it's your life. I guess this is also will double as ASMR. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Sophie was busy as usual, making hats in her workshop. She could hear the lively voices of the sewing girls as they prepared to go into town. "Look, it's Howl's castle." "Howl? Where? Where? Do you think Howl is in town?" Sophie's hands paused as she looked out the window to the wastes. Dark billows of smoke hissed out from Howl's castle as it disappeared into the clouds. "He's gone." "No, he's just hiding out because the military is here." "Did you hear what happened to that girl Martha from South Haven? They say Howl tore her heart out. Isn't that scary?" "Don't worry, he only preys on pretty girls." The girls laughed as they left. Sophie finished up her work and decided to visit her sister, Letty. There was a military parade in progress, and the town was full of people. Sophie ducked into a dark alley to avoid the crowds. She was startled by a young soldier who spoke to her. "Looking for something?" "Oh, no, I'm fine," said Sophie. "How about some tea, then? Won't you keep us company?" "No, thanks, I'm on an errand." But the soldiers kept blocking her path. One of them peered into her face and asked, "So, how old are you? You live around here?" "Leave me alone." Just then, someone laid a hand on Sophie's shoulder and said, "Sweetheart, sorry I'm late. I was looking everywhere for you." It was a handsome young man. The young man chased off the soldiers with the flick of a finger. "Where to?" he asked. "I'll be your escort this evening." "I'm just going to Cesar's cafe," Sophie replied hesitantly. "Don't get alarmed, but I'm being followed." Howl whispered into her ear. "Act normal." Sophie did as she was told and walked along with the young man. Rubbery blob men appeared from the walls around her. Sophie was frightened. "Sorry, I didn't mean to get you involved," said the young man. The blob men came at them from both behind and ahead. Just when Sophie was about to despair, the young man escaped upwards, carrying her. The next thing she knew, Sophie was floating in mid-air. She could see rooftops far, far below. The young man took her hands as if to dance and told her, "Straighten your legs and start walking." Sophie took a cautious step. "See, not so hard, is it?" said the young man. He escorted Sophie gently until they landed on the balcony of Cesar's cafe. "I'll make sure to draw him off, but wait a bit before you head back outside." Sophie nodded. Hearing that Sophie landed out of the sky, Letty ran up to find her. "Wow, he must have been a wizard then," she said after hearing the story. "But he was so kind to me. He rescued me, Letty." Sophie felt like she was in a dream. "Of course he did. He was trying to steal your heart. If that wizard were Howl, he would have eaten it." "No, he wouldn't. Howl only does that to beautiful girls." "Not that again. It's dangerous out there. Even the Witch of the Waste is back on the prowl." "Now, Sophie, do you really want to spend the rest of your life in that hat shop?" asked Letty. "The shop was just so important to Father, and I'm the eldest. I don't mind." "That's not what I'm asking. I want to know what you want. You have to live your own life, Sophie." Sophie just murmured. Later, as she walked home alone in the twilight, a suspicious-looking coach followed her. By the time she was back in the shop, it was completely dark outside. She heard the door opening and turned around quickly. She was sure she'd locked it when she got home. Near the front door there was a woman she'd never seen before. The woman strode into the shop and spoke with contempt. "What a tacky shop! I've never seen such tacky hats. Yet you're by far the tackiest thing in here." Sophie was mad and responded before she could think. "This is only a small shop in a small town. I suggest you take your business elsewhere." "Standing up to the Witch of the Waste? That's plucky." The woman spread out her cape and moved towards Sophie. Something dark quickly enveloped Sophie and passed through her. "The best part of that spell is you can't tell anyone about it. My regards to Howl." Sophie opened her eyes cautiously and looked around. Everything was quiet, as if nothing had happened. But then she saw her own hand and gasped. It was all gnarled and wrinkled. She touched her face and found dry, crackling skin and saggy cheeks. She hurried to the mirror. "That's really me, isn't it?" She couldn't believe it. She saw a wrinkled old lady in the mirror. "I've got to stay calm," she kept telling herself. "Now there's no use in panicking. I've got to stay calm." But Sophie had no idea what to do. She paced back and forth. The next morning, Sophie's stepmother, Honey, returned from Kingsbury. Not finding Sophie in the shop, Honey came to her room looking for her. She knocked, calling, "Sophie!" "Don't come in," Sophie replied. "I've got a bad cold. I don't want you to catch it." "You sound ghastly," said Honey, alarmed at Sophie's hoarse voice, "like a 90-year-old woman." "I'll just stay in bed and sleep all day, so you go on." "Well, if you insist," said Honey. After her stepmother left, Sophie walked to the mirror and tried to cheer herself up. "This isn't so bad now, is it? You're still in pretty good shape, and your clothes finally suit you. But you can't stay here like this long," she added. Sophie quickly packed and slipped out of the house. Sophie trudged slowly up the steep hill. Her aged legs didn't move as quickly as she would have liked. A branch sticking out from a bush caught her eye at the edge of the road. It looked just right for a walking stick. Sophie grabbed the branch and pulled, but it refused to budge. "Ugh, this is one stubborn branch. You're not getting the best of old Grandma Sophie," she said. "Up!" She pulled with all her strength. To her surprise, she found that the branch was actually a scarecrow's leg. Not only that, but the scarecrow had a turnip for a head. Perhaps it was happy to be standing again. The scarecrow hopped up as it followed Sophie. Hopped up and down as it followed Sophie. "Go away, quit following me. There's no need to thank me. You don't owe me a thing," Sophie said. "I'm sure you have some kind of spell on you, and I've had more than enough of witches and spells." The wind became chillier and at sunset, and Sophie grew short of breath as she walked. The Scarecrow gave her a cane. "Thank you, this cane is perfect. Now if you'd like to do me one more favor, you could run off and find me a place to stay." Sophie didn't know if the Scarecrow understood what she said, but he turned around and went hopping off somewhere. She was relieved to get rid of the mysterious Scarecrow. The wind grew colder and fiercer. Sophie smelled smoke. Maybe there's a cabin nearby. She walked feebly on and suddenly heard whooshing and clanking. Loud bursts of steam shot out of an enormous heap of a castle. The Scarecrow with the turnip head had brought her Howl's castle. The castle stopped in front of Sophie. The Scarecrow stood at the front door as if to say, "Come in." Sophie opened the door and peered in. "It's nice and warm in there, so I'm going in. I'm sure Howl won't want to eat the heart of a shriveled old lady like me. Thanks, Turnip Head." Sophie was wary as she entered the castle. There was no sign of anyone, but the fireplace glowed with a flickering red fire. Sophie added some wood to the fire, sat down, and looked around. "What a dump," she thought. "When I think castle, this is not what I picture." She saw a dirty room and shelves lined with jars of mysterious potions. Spiderwebs clung to the ceiling. "Well, one nice thing about getting old is that nothing frightens you," she muttered. The fire in front of her flickered as it spoke up. "That's one whopper of a curse you got on you, lady. You're gonna have a hard time getting rid of that one." The fire spoke! Sophie was astonished. "Are you Howl?" "No, I'm an extremely powerful fire demon," he said. "Named Calcifer," he added. "A fire demon!" She leaned forward. "So you should be able to break my curse." "Of course I can. If you can find a way to break the spell that's on me, then I'll break the spell that's on you." "If you're a fire demon, how do I know I can trust you? You promise to help me if I help you?" "Demons don't make promises." "Then go find someone else," Sophie said curtly. Calcifer pleaded with her. "Come on, you should feel sorry for me. The spell keeps me stuck in the castle and Hal treats me like a slave. I'm the one that makes the castle move, you know." "All you need to figure out is the secret to the contract between me and Howl. Then you can break my spell. After that, I'll break the spell that's on you." "All right, it's a deal."